We are live. Yeah, this trial webinar is now live, and I'm going to run around to the other room and log in my other self and see if I can hear the music. Okay, that's fun. Oops. Hmm. Okay, so I can hear the music in the other room. That's good. So all I have to do that then is put that on in the background while people are doing their little thing. Isn't that fun? All right, so let's start timing this. We'll go through this. If you are just happening across my thing, you don't know what you're in for. Neither do I. I'll look better after the real one. Okay, so let's get started here. I'm going to bring up my screen share, and nothing's there. That's not what I want. There we go. Well, that's not exactly how I anticipated it. I understand. Okay, so we're going to go out of this. Cancel. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to come. I'm going to downsize you because that's the way it is. And I'm going to do this. I can do that. That'll make a difference. It's already open. Here we go. Just getting the details of these things here. Now it's there. Share. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. So, thank you very much for joining me this evening. I know your day is a long day, and I want to make sure that I fill it with some value for you so that you are able to get a handle on all the crazy things you have to do in your life. I know it's pretty overwhelming, and it will get even crazier as school goes on and the holidays are coming. But I will have some great ideas on how you can just take a step back, take a deep breath, literally, and figure out who you are, what you're all about, and put you into the equation so you don't get left out. That happens with parents, moms, busy professionals who are trying to juggle work and home. Let's take a look at who you are and what you really stand for and what you want to stand for and the role model you want to be for your children. Let's put it all into perspective, include you in the equation. It's not just do for the kids and do for the kids and do for the kids. It's do for you and do for the family as a whole. So I want to make sure that you printed out the handout, and that was available on the thank you page. I am blocking here. Oh, that's different. That's special. What did I just do? There we go. Okay, just playing with the buttons here, make sure I get them straight. So I do this, I pull up this, and I hit share. And then I make the screen big. Then I make the screen little so I can get back to my screen share button. And I wait for me to come back. Aha! Shazah, as they say. Or huzzah, or I don't know. I'm not British, so what do I know? So here we are, back here again. And what I was saying is, you should have on your thing, when we are in the real thing, you will have pop-ins. And let's see if I can do this here. Well, that's not working because I didn't create it in the trial. Let's see if I can do this. Okay. Just want to do that. And you're going to download it now. And the link to that is not there. It's this guy. The link to the... I knew I was going to want this. There you go. Now, I'm going to go to the other room and see if it came up. Okay, I did have it once. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know why it went away. I'm not sure why it went away. Here we go. Oh. Well, that didn't work. Where'd my sidebar go? Well, what do you know? I just lost my sidebar. I don't know what to do with that concept. So maybe we won't do this. Okay, so I'm not exactly thrilled with this thing here. Let me see, is there somebody in the back? Is it in the background? Yeah. I'm going to keep that up. There needs to be a pause on this, you know? Okay, well, I lost my sidebar completely. I have no idea where it went. So, this isn't going to do me any good if I don't have a sidebar. What does this star do? Bookmark. I don't want a bookmark. Whatever. Okay, did it come down here somewhere? And it's something I don't know what it is. It's always possible. I have no idea what it is. Oh, this is fun. Okay, well, we're not getting anywhere. Oh, look at that. Oh, see, you know, you just got to keep hitting buttons. There you go. Okay, so you hit the back arrow up above here. Should anybody actually be crazy enough to be watching this work of art? If you lose your sidebar, you just hit the left arrow up above, and it comes back. Now let's see if my pop-in works. Display the offer. Here's the offer. Open in a new tab. Okay. The button should say download now. I've got it displayed. Let's do here. We close that up so that now let's see what happens. Yeah. Okay. And then you can print it out, or you can save it, or do whatever. Isn't that magnificent? Will wonders never cease? And then I just go back there, and here I am. Yay! All right. Cool. All right. And then I can open this, remove the offer. There you go. I didn't tell it to display that, so. I don't suppose I can go back and change it in the middle of the broadcast. Huh? We'll have to see. I'll have to go back and change that, perhaps. Okay, well, what I'm going to do now is run away again. And I have to time this thing, so I actually have to go through this thing once and time it. So we're going to try it again. Okay. So we're going to hit the start button. All right. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for spending part of your evening with me today. I hope that you find that this has been a valuable hour. I want to make sure that you have the handout printed out and it is available here. Well, it was anyway because I already took it off, so there you go. Oh, there it is. It's over on the side. If you didn't get it, you can click on that link. Actually, let me show you down below. It says download now, the handout. That is the one handout. You'll also be getting some worksheets. And you should have gotten those also. And in my final show, they should be a permanent link on here, so you should be able to get them. Okay. Have something to drink handy. This can be kind of a long hour. Make sure you've gone to the bathroom and you're ready to hang out, but have a drink. We don't want you to get dehydrated. I'm all about water and all those types of things. I don't have a light here. So anyway, can't do that. This is not exactly highly technical. Let's do that. Maybe it won't be so glary. Oh, that's a little better. Okay. Sort of. Okay. Well, anyway, there you go. Get comfortable. Get ready to hang out. Okay, in this session, and let me go into screen share and we'll get started. You're going to learn some simple techniques to clear your head and calm down quickly. And I'm going to share a system for you to make the big and little decisions easier. We'll create a calendar that you can live with, but change is needed for the really important things. And I'm going to coordinate all this into the 5-element system in Oriental medicine to show you how being overcommitted, stressed, and exhausted impacts your health. Now, who am I? Well, some of you know me, some of you don't. My name is Carol Griesmeyer. I'm a licensed acupuncturist and an RN. I worked in Western medicine, focused mainly on surgery over the last 40 years. I continue to work 2 days a week as an RN in a skin cancer clinic. Do a lot of removing of skin cancer and reconstruction, plastic reconstruction. And I'm also working 3 days a week as a licensed acupuncturist, and I've done that for over 10 years. I've worked with many parents and other patients in various stages of imbalance. Oriental medicine is all about bringing balance into your life. It's what it's all about. And I want to make parents' lives a bit easier. Parents have a huge job, probably the hardest job on the planet. So if I can help you get some clarity on the really important things and prioritize your activities around the people and things that matter most. This also means you need to include time for you and time for the extras, because you cannot be draining yourself on everyone else and everything else, and then you feel like you're a dish rag or you've been thrown under the bus. So we're going to start with the basic. I alluded to it earlier, and we are going to do it again. If you were on my first workshop, you know that we worked on it also, but I'm going to bet that a lot of you haven't paid attention, but maybe you have. So let's see. It's something we do all the time. We were born to breathe. But do you do it correctly? It's not just about moving air in and out. So let me show you. I'll bring back the screen share so you can see me live. We're going to do it right. Okay, give me a second here. Don't think I wanted that one. I wanted this one. No, I didn't want that one. Ha ha ha. Yeah, we don't want to do that one. There we go. Well, anyway, I'm going to stand up here, and I'm going to show you how to breathe. Slide my rolling chair back. And what we're going to do is we're going to put our hands on our bellies. It's kind of tricky with me turning sideways. We're going to put our hands on our bellies. And what you want to do is you want to be able to relax your belly out and pull it back in. Relax it out and pull it in. So you just want to practice that. Now I know a lot of you work really hard to get six-pack abs. I don't have to worry about that myself. But I do have strong abs, and I can do an awful lot with these, even though they may not be perfect. They work really well for breathing. So when you breathe in, you want to relax your abs. And inhale as you do that. And then exhale, you just relax those muscles. And it pushes the air out. When you relax your abdominal wall, it allows all the guts to get down out of the way so that the diaphragm can go down. Diaphragm, when it contracts, it actually goes down. It seems counterintuitive, but that's the way it goes. It goes down, sucks air into the lungs actually. But that, without having the having to push the abdominal organs out of the way, it actually allows the lungs to descend farther and the rib cage to open more. Ordinarily, we tend to breathe here. And you can see how my shoulders move and my whole body goes this. Lots of times we take a deep breath like this. That's not breathing. The air is only getting down to here, and you want it to get down here, and you want your whole lung cage, rib cage to expand. So when you take a deep breath, I'll show you again. Watch my shoulders. You can see my whole chest expand. I'm not doing this. Or I'm doing this. Everything's getting bigger and expanding. Okay. Now I want you to think, I want you to understand some Oriental medicine concepts here. And the lung is one of the organs of the metal element. Its partner is the large intestine. I want you to think of, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to get you to breathe in. Think of inspire. Inspiration means bringing in. It also has that emotional concept of bringing in new ideas, energy, opening the mind. If we don't open up to new ideas, we can't stimulate the mind. Bringing in clear energy helps us do that. If you're holding your breath, the lungs get contracted or stuck. They become rigid like metal. Metal also links us to the father concept, protector, leader, and connects us to source energy. And here's, oh, brilliant. That's not going to work. Why is that happening? I don't know. Well, we'll deal with it. I have the wrong one loaded up. There you go. That'll happen. Oh, okay. So here we have my wonderfully designed graphic arts version of the lungs and the diaphragm moving. This yellow line is the diaphragm, and you can see when you've exhaled that it relaxes up, and when it contracts, it goes down. Now, if you've expanded your abdominal wall so that the guts can go down out of the way, that just leaves this much more room so the lungs can open up this entire area, and you get that much more air. Okay. This isn't going to work. There you go. Everything's perfect. Okay, now during any stressful event, how to get a handle on it, or at least a better handle on it, Step back from the situation that's stressful. Literally, if you have to, move away. It's like move away from the car, move away from the guy with the bat, move away from the person who's not having a good day. You need to give yourself room to breathe and think. If you're in close quarters, it's almost claustrophobic and you end up holding your breath and you're not going to be able to think your way clearly through the situation. So declare your space and time. Give yourself time to evaluate the situation. Of course, if it's a life and death situation, run. You look for your escape route. Now, physiologic benefits of breathing. This seems kind of silly, I understand, but I've mentioned it before. Oxygen feeds the brain, so you can think more clearly. You're literally inspiring you to bring in new ideas and resolve all sorts of things, life itself. It can keep you out of panic mode, because if you can think, then you're less likely to push that adrenaline rush button. Now let's talk about adrenaline and its role in stress. It gets you ready to flee, fight, or freeze. All these are concepts of fear, which belongs to the kidneys or the water element. It dilates your eyes, so you can see the big picture, but you can't focus on the details. And often what you need to do is you need to hone in on the details so you can come up to a rational decision at that moment in time. Raises your blood pressure. Well, that might be great if you need to run. However, on a routine basis, having your blood pressure elevated is not necessarily a good thing. Dilates your air passages so you can get more air in. That's great. We want more air. Your heart beats faster, you breathe faster, blood pressure rises, and you also produce more blood sugar because the conglomerate molecule, you might say, in the liver gets broken down. It's a multiple of glucose molecules gets broken down into individual molecules, so that it's released out into the bloodstream to give you energy. The brain needs glucose and it needs oxygen. And also the liver stops producing bile, or it decreases the amount of bile that it produces. The blood is shunted to the large muscles. Shunting means diverted, and it's away from the guts. This is to prepare you for that fight or flight. GI tract does not get the blood supply anymore because all the muscles it's getting shunted to your arms and legs. So your GI tract is not going to function optimally. The pancreas doesn't produce digestive enzymes. Now in Oriental medicine, we think of the spleen as the pancreas. We call stomach and spleen the main digestive organs separate from the intestines. Stomach doesn't churn as well, so it's just kind of sitting there, so what we call decreased motility. Motility is the movement. It's that churning. It's the peristalsis of the stomach. Intestines, decreased motility, again, less peristalsis. If your stomach isn't churning, you have less appetite. The food isn't moving through your gut. If there's food in there, you feel like you have a rock in your guts and you just don't want to put anything else in there. A lot of us live like this. With our overly busy, stressed lives, we keep the adrenaline flowing. We feel like we're under attack, on edge, looking for that tiger to pounce. We get burned out. This impacts kidney energy, or the water element. You can actually gain weight because you aren't digesting food properly. And dampness and phlegm, these are Oriental medical concepts, they accumulate. This develops into what is excess weight. We think of that as excess weight. Excess weight is phlegm accumulation in Oriental medicine. And it has to do with inefficient working of the earth element. It's not being nourished properly. It doesn't have the circulation it needs. It can't digest food completely. Also, you are running in circles, but not necessarily. Your running in circles is not necessarily aerobic exercise. Okay. That's 12 and 1. Here we go. Next step. There we go. Okay, so now I want you to get your other handout out, which is the worksheets, and you're going to start working on your daily calendar. You've got to figure out what you do every day, and this was going to take a few minutes, but you can actually organize your calendar. You do have the power to do it. You don't have to rerun last year's chaos. You don't have to dread what's coming up. So be sure you go get the handouts, which are over here. So click on them now if you need to. I see. Okay. Nope. Okay. So get your handouts, and what you're going to do, you know, this is an exercise in focus and commitment. So you're going to actually take time to do this. And you can do it in a few minutes. Understand that this is the first step of making some changes, perhaps, in the way you've normally done it. Well, I always do it this way, and it works out okay. But then let's go back to this concept of this adrenaline rush going on all the time. You don't necessarily know when your blood pressure is up. Most people don't. Even when they have high blood pressure, they don't realize their blood pressure is up. It's this constant underlying worry, concern. We need to take a look at it. So we're going to start focusing. We're going to start just with 5 minutes here. And you'll eventually be able to spend more time during your day. You'll get yourself organized differently after you go through all of this. And you'll be able to set aside 15 minutes or longer for a task. But that includes, you're not going to multitask. That's not, it isn't how many things, how many balls can you juggle at the same time. It's how much can you get done in one focused, large chunk of time. That means no multitasking, no Facebook, no phone, no texting, all those things. That's really kind of scary, isn't it? Just that concept. Okay, so get the daily calendar, and you can put any times you want on that slot. It's no big deal. It's just what I decided to start with to give you an example. If you don't get up as early as I do, that's your fortune. But then you may stay up later than I do. Now this calendar is a focus on the physical activities and the actual time it takes for you to complete them. So if you're not sure, it might take a couple days actually to really get a good handle. Just go with the stopwatch. You got your phone going. No big deal. Keep it going. Check things out. Start and stop. Start and stop. Go with a piece of paper. You know, 10, 15-minute chunks. See what you do in that 10, 15-minute chunk of time on a routine basis. But you have a decent idea now because you know you get up in the morning, it's like Sammy has to get out of bed, and Sue has to do this, and I have to get breakfast for them, and I have to make lunch. You know that you have like a half an hour, 45 minutes. You know what that is. Just be aware of it, take a good look at, and continue to fine-tune that if you need to. You may find that you can actually give yourself more time so you don't feel like you're already running in circles before you even get out of the house. Or maybe you can incorporate the kids into helping with some of this. I know, well, that's a concept, right? They need their sleep. Well, maybe they need to go to bed earlier at night and not be sleeping until the 11th hour in the morning. Let's see. Now, we worked on this. If you were in my last webinar, I had you work on this too. And if you haven't been able to do anything or haven't done anything, then you might be a good candidate to get some coaching time with me so that we can actually sit down and do it. Okay, and in the meantime, I want you to pay attention to all 5 10-minute tasks you have scattered throughout your day. Just put a little dot on them or just bring them up so that you can pay attention to those, okay? You might find that you have a lot more of them than you think. Okay, so we're going to spend about 5 minutes here. And I'm going to put a little music on in the background for you to listen to, but I want you to be focusing. I want you to get going. The timer has started because we have a couple more lists we're going to work on, so I want you to be focused on this. And while you're doing that, I am going to get a drink of water. Okay, I'm going to stop that because probably this might be the easiest because you're used to what you're doing every day. So it's an average day. It doesn't have to be specifically everything you do over all 5 days, but this will be okay. The next list we're going to look at is the things that you routinely worry about. And this might be actually a little bit harder. You probably never think about things like that before in a conscious manner, and that's why it's important to become aware. So much of my work with my patients is making them aware of what they're doing routinely, because they just become habit and they get tuned out. And those habits are what actually eat away at the corners and in the nooks and the crannies and create gullies and rivets and ruts in our bodies and minds and health. So we need to be aware of these things because they do have impact. All these things also trigger a nonstop adrenaline response. It's like, oh, I have to be ready for this. What if? It's all this what if stuff that you don't even think about, but you think you need to worry about everything. You're exhausted before you even start. And you take a lot of these worries to bed with you. So what happens is you're not allowing your brain to settle down. Our brain is related to our heart. Heart is a fire element. And at night, in the evening, our fire needs to cool down to embers. But if you have this thing turning and turning and turning, it's like you're putting more fuel on the fire, and it never settles down. You need to calm down. You need to let the brain go into its restorative mode. That's when it produces the growth hormone, which is something very vital for your continued health. And you need to have dreams. You need these hour-and-a-half REM cycles. You need to go through these, and the more that you have, the better you're going to be, the healthier you're going to be. So it's important for you to take a look at these things, and it may be things like, oh, the kids, are they in the right place at the right time all day? You know, every 5 minutes you're doing this mental check-in, everything at night. And, you know, if you've got older kids and they're out with the car, it's like, where are they? What are they doing? Are they safe? Are they getting home in time? Who are they hanging out with? All these things. Just kind of, if you can, put labels on them just so they become real and they're out there. You know, and with your job, what's going on with your job? Oh, I'm on this committee and I hate it and I don't want to do it, and the boss is a putz and the leader is a thing, and I just do it, and it's over and over and over and over. It's like another day, I got to get up, the whole thing makes me crazy, the job is stressful, I never know what I'm going to do, I say one thing, everybody else comes up with another thing, they don't tell me, and then I'm looking like an idiot. And it just keeps going over and over and over. So write these things down. You're going to find patterns of things that are always bugging you and always pushing your button. Maybe you're going to have to do a little more decision-making around them. It's like, are you going to allow them? You'll have to learn how to let go of some of those. If you can't change it, you either have to accept it or let go of it. Figure out how you're going to do that. Practice is really the big thing. You practice it. Practice, practice, practice. And then move on from there. But I'm going to bet most of it you have to let go because you can't change it. And you need to know. You need to have the wisdom to know the difference, as they say. So let's spend a couple minutes there and start writing those things down. And I'll give you different music. Try this one. Well, that's not going anywhere. Oh, that's right. I did fade it out, didn't I? Modern technology. Okay, welcome back. I hope you've had some enlightenment with that. Probably were surprised at how much you spent time worrying about things. And I know many of you think that you're worriers, but there are some who think, oh, I never worry about anything. And you might have been surprised at how much you can come up with. So that's important. It's those people who think, I have everything under control. I got it all. Everything is in its place. And that's because you have all this stuff stuffed. It's not about stuffing it. It's about totally letting it go if it doesn't matter. Choose to make it not matter. That takes practice. That takes practice every day, every hour. I'm letting go of that. It doesn't matter. I'm letting go of it. It does not matter in my life. I'm letting go of it. I cannot fix it, so I'm letting go of it. It just takes practice saying that over and over and over again. So, since you've had so much fun with those, let's work on your unfinished stuff, which is different than the things you worried about. Unfinished stuff that's all the mental stuff that you keep packed away that you probably thought was taken care of. Now, these could be traumatic life events, or these could be annoying interactions that you always have with the neighbor, or their dog who always poops in your yard, or kids making a mess in your yard as they go home from school, all sorts of little things. And this happens at home, work, family, friends, school. I want you to write all those things down. This is another going deep and paying attention to what's inside and what it's, Sometimes you go, I just don't have the energy and I don't want to fix it now. Anyway, I'm just going to ignore it. And a year later or 2 years later, or you've moved across the country 3 times, but you're still mad. You're still upset because of that incident that happened, whatever. Fix it, put it out there. You need to deal with it. You need to either put it to bed, let go of it, clear it out of your energy field. If you can't fix it, let it go. Just let it go. It's all, yeah. And you know what? The way you let things go sometimes is, that was where I needed to be at that point in time. And this is what I learned from the event. Turn things that can be negative or irritating or upsetting into learning experiences. I keep going. Every day I learn and grow. Boy, there are a lot of things I'm learning. I never knew I wanted to learn. I'm still not sure some days. But when it comes down to it, I go, okay, another day of learning and growing. And usually I can put it behind me. Trust me. There are days and weeks and months of not being able to be stretched anymore. But you have to be able to take that deep breath, step back from the situation and say, what am I learning? How am I growing from all of this? I will be better as a result of it. Even if you can't see the end, just accept. It's probably the hardest thing that we can do. And I heard that line in a movie. Tom Selleck was in it, and he was over in Japan as a baseball player, and he had a girlfriend who was Japanese, and she said, the hardest job we can do is accept what is our life, what is around us, what is happening. And she had a point. I thought that was pretty meaningful for a film on baseball with Tom Selleck in it. So let's take a look at these things. Now you have that another list. I'm a list lady today, the lady of the lists. So start writing those down. Go ahead and do that, and I'll go back to our first little piece of music for a few minutes. Just makes the time go a little bit faster, I think. A lot of this unfinished stuff can actually be the little anchors, the little holes that keep us from moving forward and really making the changes we need to, because we think, oh, somebody's going to get upset. This is not what we need to do. Okay. Now our last list. Hallelujah, you're saying. Oh, I didn't know I was going to be writing so much tonight. Okay. This is where you really come into the equation. Probably most of the things that you've put on your list are what you do for everybody else. You get the kids up, you go to work, you're working for someone else. Yes, you're working for a paycheck so you can buy food and all those things. But you're doing it for someone else, something outside of you. This is where you find out how you feed and nourish you, your heart. This is your heart element. This is your purpose and what you want to accomplish in your life. It isn't just about being a parent, but it's about being a complete person. And I know a lot of parents just sort of put their life on hold. As soon as they find out they're pregnant, it's like everything stops. I can't go back to school. I can't finish my school. I can't get that job. They're not going to want me. I can't get that advancement in the job. I can't get that raise because I'll be gone in 6 months. There are an awful lot of can'ts that come into your life because a baby comes or a baby is coming. So this is where you start taking back who you are. And it may be the first time as an adult that you've actually done this, because you might have gotten married while you're still in college, and before you even graduated or when you were graduating, that baby was on the way, and you never really had a chance to fully explore who you were, live those goals and dreams that you had planned when you went to school and got the degree in the subject of your passion. And maybe that's gone now. Maybe you've decided, that isn't what I wanted, and I spent all that money, and now I have this degree, and what am I supposed to do with it? So now's the time to take a look at who you are, what you're all about. So what I want you to do, take some time to answer these questions, and this might be something that you continue to do for an extended period of time, a couple days. So I'm not going to expect you to be completely done here. But this is where you claim you. This is what's important for you. So when you know what your goals and your passions are, you can bring them into that daily schedule. It's like, I said I wanted to do this. I want to make time for going back to school. I want to make time for exercise classes. I want to make quiet time for me. So let's take a look at some of these questions that you need to answer. What are the things that matter to you? You can probably start with family, your health, world affairs, peace on earth, things like that. And then what are you looking for? What do you want other than the parent thing? There's something outside of that. And it's not a bad thing. It is not a crime to want something outside of being a parent. It's not a crime to want to be a good parent. Please, I hope you do want to be a good parent. I want you to be a good parent. But let's get another level to you. Let's make you multidimensional. So what are your passions, your intentions, your joys, your dreams? Go back to when you were 8, swinging on the swing. It's like, when I grow up, I want to do this. When I grow up, I want to do that. And take a look at what those things you wanted to do, what they meant to you. Now you'll be looking at them with the mind of an 8-year-old. Try and expand them into the mind of wherever you are now. 28, 38, 48, 108. Not too late to keep having dreams and passions at that age. But what is it you want to do? If you wanted to be a doctor or a nurse or a teacher or a fireman, any of those things, what stopped you? What got in your way? How did you change? Who influenced you to change? Did you feel that you were the one in charge of making that change? Or was someone doing it to you or for you? All these things have an impact on what your goals were and are, and what your values are. You want to think about, are these really your values? Or are they a value that someone instilled in you, inspired you to value, to respect, and want in your life and to follow? Or were you kind of coerced into, this is what the family expects me to do. This is what the family goals are. It's okay to have family goals. I want you to be clear on who you are. And you may never have spent time on this before in your life. So now's the time to do it. Not tomorrow, not 3 months from now. Now. Start it now. Be done with this in 3 days. Make the commitment. Get your answers. Get your timetable. And start putting you into the equation. I know there are things that you're going to be afraid of. Maybe those things belong back on your worry list. But kind of get an idea, isn't it nice to say, this makes me happy? And it may be your daughter bringing you a handful of dandelions, or having her giggle, or bath time with the baby. That's okay. That's okay. I bet you are breathing, and you are relaxed, and you are so connected with your child at that point in time, you cannot put words to it. That's okay. That's good. So, back to the music for 2 minutes. I want you to start it now. Okay, let's come back. Now you have something to think about. Additional things that you're going to put into this is, again, think about other people in your life. I know you're not an island, but think about your partner, kids, parents, family, friends, and what they're going to think about. How will they react to them? This is where a little bit of the fear comes in. It's like, oh my gosh. And then are your basic needs being met? Health, nutrition, safety values. Do you feel secure? Do you have a safe home? Do you know the roof over your head is not going to leak this winter? I can't say that in my personal laundry room. I know the roof's going to leak with the next rain. We know how to deal with it, and we're, looking to fix it, but the roof itself is sound. Social issues. Well, are you afraid to declare any of these things because someone won't love you anymore? It's like, oh my gosh, are you serious? You really believe in that? Huh. And then what do you do? Do you know what you were born to do? And then how do you fulfill your curiosity factor? You want to learn, you want to grow, explain, understand, and do more, and be able to share that with your kids. You're going to also consider the pros and cons. If I continue doing this, that, or the other thing, will things get better or worse? So when you decide what's important to you, like exercise or going back to school or not going back to school, or even simple things like cleaning the house, doing the laundry, what's going to be better, what's going to be worse? You want to give these answer a value of 1 to 10, 10 being the sky will fall, everyone will hate me forever, and I will be shunned. Most likely that will not occur, but I can see where in some cases it wouldn't be too far from the truth. And then once you know these values, if you give them up or put them into the equation, for how long? So if someone's going to be impacted, how long will they be impacted? Can they figure out how to live life with whatever they're giving up so you can have your space and your time? Or will it really not impact them all that greatly? Can you share the time? You have the time part, you have some of the time, they have some of the time. If it's tasks and things that you need to get out of your way so that you have time for you, delegate them, think outside the box. No answer is bad. And come up with more than 2 answers. You don't want an either or. I either do this or I don't do that. You want to have some options here. And then weigh them 1 against 2 at a time and get the better. And then take that one and compare it to the next one. And take that one and compare it to the next one. But not just only 2. You want to have at least 3. 4 or 5 is better. If you don't determine your values, do you lose? Or does someone else lose? Or both? And what will be lost? Can having lost or not living your values, can you deal with that? Do you have to fix it? And is it really under your control or your problem? Whatever's lost. Is it someone's upset with you? And what are their issues behind it? You want to think of your future. Also, have this kind of sets up the plan for the rest of your life. Your kids aren't going to be there forever. At least that's the idea. They're supposed to grow up and be independent and live on their own and not come back. So you want to make sure you're teaching those values. If they have values and understand where they're going to go and they're going to be strong and they can move on, then you've done your job. That's your job as a parent. Your job as a parent is to make them strong, independent, capable, self-supporting adults. Not clinging, not greedy, not sucking you dry forever. They're supposed to be able to take care of themselves. That doesn't, just because they can do that doesn't mean they will stop loving you and never talk to you again and never come home. So go back to the daily calendar. And here again, you're going to look at all those 5 and 10-minute tasks that you have scattered throughout your days. Can you consolidate them into bigger chunks of time? If you work out of the home, you have tons of distractions. So keep a list of those as they come up, because the kids will pop in and out, the phone will ring, the little email Ding, you have mail. It will let you know, and there'll be a tweet, and there'll be a message, and da-da-da-da-da-da. You have to put them aside. You can only check messages 3 times a day. You can only check email 3 times a day for 20 minutes each time. That's an hour, folks. That's an hour of your time. Do you want to spend an hour of every day checking email? Don't think so. But you can maybe check 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. Try and focus on getting 50-minute blocks of time. If you're working at home as a business person, then you need to be able to make your phone calls or create reports or check whatever documents or do whatever it is. You want to have at least 50 minutes of time. That does not mean 3 hours and 50 minutes of time before you get up from your desk and you can hardly move. That means 50 minutes of time. Set a timer. You need to get up and move and breathe and get the circulation going and get your neck moving and your back moving and stretch out your hands, get something to drink, go to the bathroom. Then you need to put the laundry in the dryer, do that. You need to take it out and throw it on the bed, do that. You need to put the dishes in the dishwasher, fine. If you need to take the dishes out, fine. If you need to let the dog out, great. If you need to let them in, whatever. If you need to vacuum one room, vacuum one room. Clean the bathroom. It doesn't have to be spick and span, ceiling to floor, but you can scrub the toilets. You can scrub the sinks next time. You can scrub the shower next time. But you don't have to spend an hour and a half. You can do a lot of little 5-minute tasks and your break every hour. Or you can get your bigger job done, some of the little ones each hour, get your bigger job done, and then set aside an hour for all these little ones and just say, whoop. Bathrooms are clean top to bottom. Laundry's in and out and folded and put away. Dishes are done, and you did that in an hour. Because you were there, you were focused, you did it. Boom, boom, boom. And take a look at these things. Are some of these tasks that someone else can do? Can you leave the clothes in the washer for your kids to put in the dryer when they get home? Can they take the clothes out and sort it and put it on everybody's bed? They don't have to fold it, but they can do that. I know. Oh my gosh, you want my 9-year-old to put laundry, to sort laundry? He's got to learn sometime, and his wife will love him for it if you teach him now. That's part of being alive on planet Earth, taking care of your dirty clothes. So take a look at all these things. There's no wrong answer. Don't be afraid to look outside the box. You know, if you want results, more time, less wasted energy, and feeling like you're accomplishing something, spend focused time on it. Focus on what you want to achieve and not what you want to avoid. Lots of times it's like, I don't want to do that, so you get busy over here and da-da-da. You know, it may be a task you really have to do, but you don't want to. It's like, too bad. Get it done. Get it out of your to-do bin, and then get it in the garbage and out of your way for at least that day or week or whatever. Focus and say, think of what you want, not of what you don't want. The brain only hears what you're focused on. So if it hears don't, then that's what it will get. That's what you'll get. Stick with the positive. I know it works with animals, works with kids. You know, once you want your kids to avoid something, suggest an alternative activity rather than, don't do this, don't do that, stop jumping up and down. Say, please settle down, not don't jump up and down. Ask them, please stop, please settle down. Stop is understandable, don't isn't. Please come over here versus don't go there. This is a safer activity. Avoid I don't want you to do. Use I'd be happier if you did that instead of and state why it's important to you. Let them understand. They may be too young. Say it anyway. Have a conversation with them, even if they're 5. It's okay. All this is about taking care of you, nurturing you, and still being an outstanding parent. You teach your children self-reliance, coordination of effort with friends, delegation of tasks, and deciding on what is really important in their lives. This process is important for your older children to work through also. They need to get their daily and weekly calendar organized. They need to figure out what's important for them, what their goals are, how that all figures in. You know, they can't be in 3 different sports band practice, trumpet practice, and dance all in the same week. It's not possible. They need to figure out what some of their goals are and stick with them for a year. Explore something else next year. They do not have to do it all today. And while you're at it, dinner time with the family, together, around the table, no phones within 20 feet. They're all put on airplane mode in another room. I know the earth shook when I said that. Give it a try. Have actual conversations with your kids. Why not? You know, stay connected with them. If they feel you actually understand them and are willing to listen, you may have much happier teenagers. They need to know you value their values. And if they don't know what they are, it's kind of hard for them to feel that you have any connection with them. So go with this through this process with them. Make it a family affair for the weekend, something like that. Let's see. What's really important? You know, guys, what would really make me happy is if we spent a couple of hours this weekend going over this, making some lists, talking and discussing, and then we can go to a movie, and then we can da-da-da-da. All these things, you know, yeah, you have to kind of barter some time here, but then we're going to go do this, and I know you really want to. Or I know you really want to spend time with the friends, but this is an important family project we need to do. So when they see and feel the two-way street, you may not have as many struggles. So how does this all work in with 5 elements? Well, we talked about the 5 elements. We talked about the kidney and how fear is part of the water element. It's that deep, dark thing called the ocean where we don't know what's down there. Water, we use that as our source. We came out of the ocean. We came out of a placental sac filled with water. That's sort of our basis. If we don't have water, we cannot water the wood. We can't nourish wood. You know, the grass won't grow, the trees won't grow, everything shrivels up. And then you have forest fires like we're having today. Like we've had a lot this summer. Liver is where we get creative. This is where we create our lists. This is where we start creating a plan for our life, what we're going to do for each day. These lists were all nourishing wood. We thought that wasn't much fun, but truly. You have to be creative, you have to create the plan, and then you have to carry it out. When you have strong wood, you will do that. Then it goes into the fire element. We talked about the heart and finding your purpose and your passion. This creates the pathway for you to see this. And then when you have your passion, you have your purpose, you nurture yourself. Knowing that and fulfilling your passion nurtures yourself. And when you nurture yourself, you can nurture others. That's the earth element. That's taking in food for your soul, body, mind, and spirit food. When the earth is solid, it can nourish metal. Metal ore, just think of metal ore coming out of the center of the earth. It's the center of the earth. So we want to make sure the earth is healthy so that it can create metal. It's a really rock foundation. It's the mountains. It's the rock foundation. And when the metal is strong, this is where our values. This is the things that are really important to us, our values, our rituals, our routine, the things that we want to do, that we really want to have in our life. This is where that comes from. And when our values are strong and we can share them without fear, share them strongly and confidently, we do not have fear. So our water element is strong. So we keep going around the circle, nurturing and nurturing. If one is weak, it weakens the one before it. We call this a mother-child relationship. Everyone is the mother of the next one, and everyone is the child of the one before. Today we started with the lungs, which are metal, breathing in the new, and the large intestine letting go of the unnecessary. Metal keeps water out of fear. Can look at it change more easily when you're not filled with fear. Nourishes wood. We made our lists. When we have our agenda, we're clear on our values. The heart, the fire element, is the commander-in-chief. We want to follow the leader and give it good information so great decisions can be made. How many people follow our passion and our purpose, make that our leader in our life? It's usually everybody else dragging us in 100 directions. We're not following our leader. When we live on purpose, we can fulfill obligations to others and ourselves. We serve others and are clear that we must nurture ourselves first. Our foundation, earth, must be strong if others are going to rely on us. We must have strong boundaries, wood, so that others don't take advantage of us and drain us. We must also not be afraid to declare our boundaries and take time for ourselves. When earth is strong, we nourish our metal. We declare our value in the world. Take in the important things that help us fulfill our purpose and let go of the unimportant. That which drains our energy, puts us in fear, keeps us confused and overwhelmed and exhausted. It all started with a breath, just like our life. We were born, and we needed to take that first breath on the path which would be our lives. Now let's continue that path and strengthen your life by having a clear system to keep you fearless, organized, on purpose, nurtured and nurturing, and strong in energy and value. Take the time for you. This process does take a bit of time. They are vital strategies, as I alluded to in the name of the title. I expect you to work on it more after our session together. This is where you set time aside for you. Relax. If it's still nice outside, send everyone to the movies, whatever, and work this out. Get people used to you taking time for you. Start with little 10-minute sessions. You know, if the kids are in the football field or soccer field or dance class, yes, you want to watch them, but let them know that once or twice during those classes or games, you're not going to be in the bleachers. You're maybe, if you're outside on the sidelines, you're doing a little exercise routine. You're walking up and down the bleachers. You're getting exercise that way. You're there with other parents. Why don't you get a little cheerleading group? I mean, get pom-poms, dress weird, who knows? The kids will think you've lost your mind and they won't want to be related to you anymore. But get some exercise going instead of just, you know, bouncing up and down trying to stay warm. Actually have a coordinated routine that you do for 10 or 15 minutes every hour so that you can stay warm, you can get some exercise, and it's not just the kid. It's not always about the kid. It's about you too. So don't just do it alone. Bring your friends and the other parents at soccer practice. Why not? At the basketball game, you know, same thing. Maybe you're out in the hallway, the kids are on the court, you're out in the hallway, you're doing your little thing, you've got your iPod and you're dancing and doing whatever, you're doing an aerobics routine. Whatever. It's all possible to get these things in here. Don't just think you have to go to a gym or have an hour-and-a-half session. Do it when you can. A little bit is better than none. And really, the way Homo sapiens evolved was short bursts of high activity with periods of rest in between. The way we live our lives is constant high activity and stress, and no rest in between. So we need to start backing off with the constant stuff. Give us a little burst and then settle down. Declare your values to your family and friends, coworkers. Ignore the negative reactions and laughing. This is about you being strong. It's your medal here. It may take practice, so practice. When it comes to challenges to your values, step back. Breathe, determine the impact it will have on you short-term and long-term. Some say, you can't do that, or this just isn't going to work, or how am I going to get this class in, or how am I going to get that done, or, you know, it's really important that my child does this. So how is that going to impact you? It doesn't always have to be either or. It can be a blending. And that's where it's important to get your kids involved in this process so they understand that. Let them know that they're important on you fulfilling your purpose and values just as you are important in them, determining them and growing and discovering them. Determine the best course of action at this moment and accept the consequences. If you can't live with the consequences, then you need to find another path with a better outcome. This is your life. Take control of it. Because being a parent is so hard and it has a challenge, I know you have great fun at times, and there are other times when you just want to tear your hair out. But I do want to give you a system that you can understand so you can see where this impact, how it flows into the next one or how it doesn't flow, where you are sabotaging yourself for keeping the flow going. What are your blocks? What are your strong points? Where are you not really nourishing yourself when you think you are? Understanding the 5-element system can really be a powerful tool for you. it's a foundation in Oriental medicine. It isn't always about acupuncture, but it's just something that is a foundation. It's a way of life. It's a philosophy. Everything is energy, and we're all connected. And it's about how this energy flows through us. I'd love to have you sign up for a complimentary consultation. The form will be up on the side there. So please fill it in now. I'd love to talk to you about how we might best work together. The sign-up form actually takes you to a survey that will let you tell me what's important for you so I can create the most and serve you best. Please sign up now. My assistant will get back to you in the next few days and get your consultation appointment made. I can't wait for us to speak and work together. If I had had Oriental medicine in my life when I was a teenager or in my 20s, 30s, 40s, I know my life would be different. I didn't know the joy of not having PMS literally for decades. It truly was an amazing thing. I was perimenopausal when I went into Oriental medical school. So I had the benefit there, but I just look back at all the things and all the anger and all the frustration that I had in my life that I didn't need. Had I understood there was another way, there were other options. And it isn't just the instant pill. So please, sign up now. And afterwards you can contact me with any other questions, concerns, but I want you to fill out the survey, let me know how I can best serve you. And let's talk. Other questions, again, ckgrom@gmail.com. Let me know what you liked about the presentation, what you didn't like. I can take it either way. And again, what I can do to provide you more by filling out the survey. In the meantime, I want you to breathe, balance, and go beyond. I did it wrong. Okay. Have a great evening, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. Go sign up for your consult now.